thing is absolutely deranged. It's a maniac.
This is the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, a car that's relentlessly fast, unapologetically loud, and unwaveringly ferocious in almost every way. It's a throwback, the product of an age the world has long left behind. To me, this is the world's last great muscle car.
The recipe for this one is actually pretty simple. What you do is you start with a relatively affordable American coupe, you make sure it's rear-wheel drive, and then you cram the engine bay with the biggest, nastiest V8 you can find. In this case, a 6.2-litre supercharged Hemi.
Then you give the driver a choice of key. Those who choose the black key have access to an impressive 500 horsepower. Not bad, but to unlock the Hellcat's full fury, you'll need the red key.
This gives the Hellcat a massive 717 horsepower. And if you're wondering what that means for performance, well, so do I. And I'm not going to keep you waiting, but first things first, got to warm the tires up. That, by the way, is with the traction control on. But this car also has line lock. I think they're warm enough. It's coming through the vents. I can't actually see the track, and I don't think you can see me either. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. All right. Launch control. Window up. Smoke out. Here we go. A little bit of wheel spin there, but we are moving. Oh my God, that's 102. 150 kph. 180 kph. Let's keep it going. 200 kph. It's getting serious now. 236. 240. 255 kilometers per hour on the brakes. Yeah, they work. They work. My God, this thing is quick. Didn't get a great launch, even though launch control was set to 1,000 RPM, really low, and the tires were warm. It didn't get away super quick, but once you're on the move, my God, it's an animal.
Officially, the Hellcat will do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. The fastest I managed was just 5.9 seconds. As for the quarter mile, Dodge says it'll do 10.8 straight out the box. In reality, away from the sticky rubber of a dedicated drag strip, these acceleration figures are largely impossible. In fact, I suspect the car might be quicker in day-to-day situations with the black key.
The numbers are important. Of course they are, it's a muscle car. It's all about bragging rights in this thing. But even if it can't achieve the numbers every single time, it's so engaging to drive. It really is a thrill a minute. It just keeps you so engaged with the experience. As you might have seen, it finds it difficult to put the power down off a standstill, but actually, it's hard to put the power down pretty much anywhere because it doesn't matter whether you're in second, third, fourth, it just wants to spin up. It's a lunatic. How is this car road legal? You lose concentration for a second and you are toast. When you drive this car, you have to pay full attention. And even when it's not moving, it's a car that's very good at doing exactly that, making people pay attention. Because look at it. Now, I'm sure my American watchers might be sick to the back teeth of seeing Hellcats on their streets, but in the UK, this thing stands out a mile in a good way. If you like standing out, you're gonna love this car. This particular car was brought to the UK by Clive Sutton, the same guys that modified my Ford Mustang. What they do is they bring it over, they prepare it, send it to the DVLA, get it registered with UK plates. This one is a blinder, by the way, 717 horsepower, and they give it to websites like Auto Trader to advertise and sell to guys like you and me. It comes with a 2-year warranty, it's got finance if you need it, and home delivery. Check out the link down below if you're interested in buying this car. This particular one costs £90,000, which might sound like an awful lot, but have a think. How many cars are there available with over 700 horsepower for under 90 grand? I can't think of one. Certainly none as mental looking as this. The Hellcat might be in a class of its own.
It certainly is when it comes to styling. The Hellcat is based on the standard Challenger, which is iconic in its design. Its blocky, aggressive shape is synonymous with the term muscle car. This particular vehicle has the optional $6,000 wide-body pack for those bulging wheel arches. It has a 3D Hellcat badge and unique alloys known as the Devil's Rim, wrapped in 305/35 ZR20 all-season Pirelli P0 tires all round. The signature belt line, which stays flat until a dramatic kick upwards towards the rear, is a highlight. The fuel cap is prominently placed as an item you'll likely to become very familiar with, and at the rear, it's all rectangles, from the spoiler to the lights to the exhaust tips.
The front end is what really makes a Challenger a Challenger. It's so unique and aggressive with this kind of recessed grille, this aggressive overhang from the bonnet. It has a face that almost looks like it's annoyed with the world around it, and especially what the automotive industry has become in 2022. I feel you, big man, I feel you. Now these eyes, these piercing eyes, actually they're literally pierced, because if you look closely, not only are they circular DRLs, but they're also hollowed out. The one on that side is a dummy, but this one actually feeds air directly into the air filter. On the bonnet, you've got these twin snorkel intakes, which also feed air into the air filter. On the previous generation car, it came with a single intake, but here you've got 2 intakes, which is what accounts for the difference in performance between the 2 generations. On the original car, you had 707, and on this one, you have 717. But of course, the Hellcat is not naturally aspirated. Helping it breathe and living smack bang on the top of that 6.2-litre Hemi is a 2.4-litre supercharger, and it's a screamer. That is one of my favorite things about this car. There are so many vehicles out there that have a lovely V8 burble and loads that have a lovely exhaust noise, but how many combine both of those elements with that delicious supercharger whine? It sounds alien, it's almost like a spaceship. You wind it up and it just screams. Love that. The gearbox, well, I'm not especially keen on it. It's an 8-speed automatic, and it's effective enough. You can take matters into your own hands by pulling these little half paddles behind the steering wheel. The paddles themselves, no, not a huge fan really. Ergonomically, I'm not enjoying using them, but the box itself is perfectly effective. It's actually really quick going up and down the box. There is a manual gearbox available for this, which I dare say would be a lot more engaging to drive. I understand why you might want to go for the automatic. If anything, it's going to help you get closer to those claimed lap times, but I can't help but think a manual box in a Hellcat, that's the way to go. The box has 8 gears. I mean, does it need 8 gears? I really don't think so, because it almost doesn't matter where you are in the rev range or where you are in the gearbox. You put your foot down and it just disappears towards the horizon. Wow, there is just torque for days in this car.
The performance of the Hellcat is of course affected by its weight. It's very heavy, well over 2 tons, but apply that immense torque and the weight melts away, at least in a straight line.
The size, the weight, and the inertia really make themselves known in the middle of a corner. You can really feel that it's a big old lump, the Hellcat, but actually you got huge, huge tires, 305 section, Pirelli P0 all seasons, and actually the grip is very impressive. when you're in auto mode, there's a lot of body roll, and the ride, when you're at low speed, is actually pretty decent. But when you go around the corners, you really want it in track mode, because that's when the car firms up that suspension and just allows you to stay flatter through the bends. And actually, as long as you're sensible with your throttle application through a corner, it acquits itself reasonably well. You just have to be very careful putting your foot down out of a bend.
If you're not careful, well, you can expect a lot of this.
This thing is absolutely deranged. It's a maniac!
The Hellcat loves to go sideways, but the good news is that the car is very stable, even at absurd angles, which is just as well, because it's basically impossible, even with the traction control switched on, not to go sideways in this car. When you're done melting the tires and heating the engine, the Hellcat has another great trick up its sleeve. It will actually divert cool air from the aircon away from the cabin to the engine to keep things at an appropriate temperature so you can keep the fun going, as long as the fuel lasts, of course. Ultimately, the Hellcat is not the most sophisticated car in terms of handling. It would get left for dead by rivals like the Mustang Shelby GT500 or European foes like the M5 Competition or Mercedes E63. But I don't think that matters, because this car isn't trying to beat any of those cars at their game. It's unapologetically true to itself.
A lot of these cars that we consider to be muscle cars, I'm not sure that's really an appropriate label anymore, because they've become so sophisticated. If anything, they're closer to being sports cars. I mean, disregard the body shape and you could make an argument that they're actually supercars.
The Hellcat is different. It's a throwback. It's more simple, raw, visceral. It's a relentlessly fast, unapologetically loud, and unwaveringly ferocious monument to power and speed. The product of an age the world is fast leaving behind. Even the next model will be electric, and that's further proof to me that the Hellcat is the last great muscle car.